Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Shawn and you're watching Shawn's Read Aloud. Today I'm going to take you through an overview of my latest production. This is for an animated picture book. Okay, so just to give you a quick rundown, I'm going to stop this for a quick second. I'm going to take you over to my build file. We're going to run through this pretty quickly, but I figured this might be a good place for us to start. So essentially, I'm going to be taking story art. This is what we're going to be seeing throughout this video here. I'm taking story art from the book, and I'm essentially translating that capture image, whatever that emotion, into motion, into animation. Okay, so to get the ball rolling, I do want the characters to look pretty good. And just in case you guys aren't familiar with the software that I'm working in Adobe Animate, formerly known as Adobe Flash, if you've been around long enough. Anywho, I have, of course, I picked one that is not a good example. All right, let's go to another scene. There's so many. Okay, let's pick this one. Okay, so essentially we have our story page. Okay, and I went through already, and these are just in groups. Let's just bring this down so it's a little bit easier to see. So these are just in groups currently. I haven't really solidified the coloring and whatnot at the time of the drawing, but essentially I went through and traced everything out. For the characters, because we're going to be animating each of these, everything has already been broken down into their own symbols based off the action from the pose that they're already in, or the animation that I think would look best from that starting pose. So as you see here, again, everything has already been isolated, and this isn't like the bestest, cleanest looking work, but I got all the pieces that I need to start building with. So I'm just gonna quickly go through and show you a couple more. So I'll show you this one since we're gonna talk a little bit more about the actual animation techniques that are gonna be used. Here, I'm gonna fix this really quickly. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's go to here, and as you can see, I have started going through some of the scenes and just flushing out the color palette. So I'm going to try to keep as much inside of Flash as possible. We'll see. I don't know what I want to do with the backgrounds. I'm probably going to do something with them so they're just not I'm going to stop shaking the canvas there. So they're just not a flat color. We just have something so the characters pop a little bit more. But anyway, everything follows the same principle. Eventually, I'll go in, set these transformation points to where I think they'll need to rotate, and figure out what kind of animation I want to make. So before I ramble on anymore, let's go ahead and show you this whole little template presentation that I'm coming up with. I've been experimenting heavily with, again, the translation of, going from a printed format to something that's going to be watched. So there's a lot of considerations, and some things don't immediately translate. But anywho, let's go through this file. We're going to go through each layer, and I'm going to show you what's in the file. and I'm going to show you how I went about to get this sort of effect where we have the character inside of this shape here. I'll just spill the beans here. It's just called a mask. It's pretty simple. I'm going to show you it. But I really want to show you what I did to animate this because it was so simple. Of course, the setup for just about almost all the animation projects is just there's so much upfront work that needs to be done. But the animation, while it's not done, this is actually just me just playing around. It's just a test, but I mean, I think it looks really good, you know, for what it is. So let's look at what it actually is. So I'm gonna unlock all these layers. It's gonna get ugly really quick. Watch this. Okay, boom. Okay, it wasn't that bad, but we released our mask, which we see this red outline here. Okay, that is, let's find it in our layer stack. I'm gonna pull this up here and expand that out a bit. And let's see, did I name it? Well, okay, it's right there. Mask all. So this shape here and everything underneath this. Let's take that back. I'm gonna try to explain this one more time. Okay, so we have this one big shape, okay, and it's serving as our master container, okay, for all our animated elements. And some of the elements are placed outside of the container, okay. Hence, we have him. I'll lock all these layers again. We have him in the container. I guess this wasn't a really good example because he's outside the container here. Let's see, does he go in? Well, let's put him in for the sake of making me sound right here. I'm gonna take this. Let's see, where are you? Here, so we can see that his ear is poking outside of our mask. So very simple. I'm gonna grab our layer, which is named Sun Pose Pack. I don't know why I named it that, but it made sense at the time of doing it. And I'm just going to drag it right below the layer onto the mask. And now, if we go over, I know nothing happened yet, but if we go over to the actual keyframe here, okay, because we don't have anything, I'll unselect. We don't have anything there, so it doesn't look like anything changed. But if we go over here, now our character ears are hidden within this border. But anyway, I spent a whole lot of time to explain a mask, but I want to show you how I animated this. Alright, so 2 parts. I'll show you the first part, which is this wiggling back and forth. Okay, and then we'll go through the little falling part. Again, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on any of this animation. So for the first set, these are all tweens. Okay, so we're just going from one position to the next, and we're letting Flash do the business between frame 1 and frame 11 and so forth. Okay, but what's really nice is that I like this sliding face. So I've separated the face out. I don't plan on animating the expressions in this production. I just think that's just going to add way more than I want to do. But I have the cheeks. Don't make me a liar. Okay. Anyway, in one of these heads, the spots are also separated into their own symbol. So I can sort of have this 2.5D sort of effect going on here. And because the character is really simple, it just works. So that's that. And I just think it's just super awesome what you can do. And just to give you a rundown, I want to tear this apart so I could just show you guys. It's really only just a few pieces. It's only just a few pieces. Okay, the ears aren't even a factor in this part of the animation, and you know we still have something that looks pretty good in my opinion. All right, so that's enough of that. I'm gonna undo a few times so we can put this guy back together. And I'm gonna go out to this part of the animation. I lied. Let's try again. Okay, I'm gonna go to this part of animation, and this part of animation I actually use bones. And I thought this was super fun too. I I looked a lot on YouTube, and I don't see a lot of people using this feature. So I'm gonna give you a quick run through about the bone tool, and um, hopefully this will help you in your own projects as well. So let's rig a character. Sure, why not? I didn't plan for this, by the way. I have the file open all willy nilly. I'm just going to do the thing. Let's just pick something very random. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, well, that's pretty good. Let's rig this guy. Okay, so I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I want to show you this. All right, so I'm gonna turn this all into a symbol. Boom. Oops. What did I do? Draw knobs continually. Okay. I shouldn't have did that. I gotta take that out of there. Flash doesn't like that. Alright. I'm gonna turn all these guys into symbols, and then I'm gonna rig them all together. Just to show you guys. And I'm pulling all these objects apart intentionally just so I can show you the bone tool. So what I'm not going to do, let's see, I'm not going to rig the face. As we're going to put the face inside this symbol shape here, or once we actually make it a symbol. So let's go through really quickly. We only got one symbol, which is this guy here. And let's make everything a symbol. So symbol, not naming anything, by the way, which is a bad practice. I suggest you name things. Okay, correct the symbol. Correct the symbol. Convert the symbol. I should really hit the F9 button. Okay. Convert the symbol. Okay. Shebang. Alright, so I want to grab the bone tool. By default, for some reason, it's hidden in here. You hit the little 3 dots to bring up your tools option. There it is. Don't even know what that's for. Anyway, this is the one you need right here. Just a straight bone. I'm going to start with the body as my, I guess it really doesn't matter. I'll show you guys here. But this is essentially the root bone. So I take that back. It does matter. So I essentially click and drag. It doesn't really matter at this point where I click and drag. And just to show you what happened, I essentially link these two objects together. And I can manipulate it by pressing V, and that automatically enables this little bone tool, and I can start posing my character. But what's really interesting, and again, I didn't plan for this, so I'm really going on a tangent here, is that I can hold down. I'm using a Mac. I'm assuming it's control on the PC. I don't know. I'm holding down the command key, and I can draw and reposition these parts at will, at random, and it doesn't break the animation. The only exception to using the bone tool, which is on Adobe site, they list that you can't do any transformations to your objects once they are rigged up into an armature. So let's just quickly, I'm gonna shut up and finish rigging this character here. So let's grab our bone tool. Okay. Okay. Bam. I'm automatically just dragging to where I think the rotation might be. And again, let me finish here. Boom. I have essentially created a few different branches from essentially or created a parent-child relationship. That's the best way to think of this essentially. So I'm gonna hold down the command key, or I have to deselect first. So hold down the command key, and then I can drag. It only works for a single object. Let's see. I think if I try to drag two, it won't let me. Okay, so right now I'm just putting together our puppet. So what I wanted to say was that this is really cool to do straight ahead animation. This is more like 3D style, where you can, hold on, wait a second, arrange the front. I lost a piece. Okay, why don't you want to come to the front? Sometimes weird things happens. I'm gonna get it to work. There we go. I don't know what happened there. I'm not sure. Alright, so let's put Humpty Dumpty back together. Boom. Shebang. Alright. And wait, his hand. We need his. Oh, I didn't rig his hand. Alright, you. And connect that there. There you go. Sometimes it can be finicky. I don't know. That was kind of weird. All right, let's put them all back together, and boom, there we go. Now, some people may be very dissatisfied that they have very unnatural movements, but this armature or bone tool in Adobe Animate, I think if you think about it more as just a portable layer parenting system that you can apply to your objects and manipulate, what's the best way, like connective action. Okay, so if I want to have a bunch of things going and still be able to move the whole character, that's pretty awesome. It does have some limitations, but let's jump over to the actual animation file here. And really, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a duplicate layer. Yeah. And I'm gonna, and you can't slide around like the keyframes like you can and like a regular motion tween. You have to like copy cut the poses for this particular for the use of the bone tool. Not remove armature, darn it. See here, paste pose. So I'm gonna just delete it. No, that's not working. It's not working for me. Okay, let's. This is really frustrating. All right. See, I'm not even an expert yet. All right. Even though layers lock, you can still manipulate the frames, which is kind of frustrating sometimes. So if I do every frame except the first frame, does it clear? Yes. I told you I was going to figure this out. Okay, so we have our puppet essentially. Okay. So the way I have went about animating this scene here is I essentially started with the biggest action first. If or the yeah is what's the biggest possible movement I can make, the biggest broadest movement. So for example, let's just say first let's just select this guy here and give him some breathing space. So let's just, I don't know, let's just have this guy lean back. So let's start him up here. Again, I'm not really talking through the tools, but if you follow along, you'll see it's pretty fun stuff. So again, a lot of people might not be happy with that, but I think this is awesome. Yeah, again, hold down the command and boop, pop it right where you want it. And you know, that's really that's that just makes me smile that I can do these things like that. Um, that's just awesome. I'm free to use any of my normal uh, transform tools, so that's cool. But yeah, I like it. Anywho, so let's just say that's my start pose. Let's just say my next pose is I don't know, him really bringing it down. Like he's really trying to break this toy. So I'm gonna start with the body. The body is the parent. I know this looks weird, but this is the process, you know. And I'm gonna flick these keyframes here because I don't know. I don't know if this works yet. Okay. And again, you gotta get creative because you can't transform nothing. You will. I believe you can do translations directly from the point. I maybe yeah. You got all kind of joint controls for. I want to say this sort of it's just like easing. If you're familiar with just easing and Flash, this is just the same deal. Okay, so let's continue on. Again, I've only set up this one file. I'm kind of walking through this with you guys, bumps and all. But so far, yeah. Let's continue. Uh, what's also really cool is that the you can change the layer order on the fly. To my knowledge, let's just see. I'm I'm trying to select more than one object. Let's see. I believe you have to hold. You can only do it with what, the transform tool. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, so the transform tool, I can move individual groups, and I want to see if I can bring it back here. Let's see. Oh no. So you have to keep the you can adjust your layer parenting on the fly, but you have to. This is a lot of trial and error, but it's definitely fun to experiment with. I would say, yeah, starting with the biggest movements and working your way down to, I mean, normal animation stuff. Um, but that's the gist of it. I pretty much broke it now. Let me just maybe not even save. Here you go. Not save. No. And I'll just open it again for you guys. Okay. Prep scenes. This is it. Okay. Come on. Fit to view. Alright, but there it is again. I'll just play it for you guys. So essentially these are the same rig, but they have just been animated differently. They have been duplicated. That's just something. That's just like the currency of this environment: symbols, the library, naming conflicts. Animate does a pretty good job of letting you bypass things by letting you put things in folders to avoid naming conflicts. But it's just something that it's annoying sometimes. It's a little bit annoying. But if you want things to work in this environment, versus like After Effects, where you can just put elements into the timeline, but that's a whole nother beast. Anywho's, I have two duplicates of our character here, as we showed you here, named differently, animated differently, but you still really get this nice fun effect. There's other tools that I haven't got a chance to play with, but that's pretty much the gist of it, you guys. It's going to take me a while to get through the, what was it, about 16 animated scenes, but again, as I mentioned before, the animation portion of it, for the most part, is pretty fast. It's more of the setup and the naming, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, I hope you found this video insightful. Please consider becoming a subscriber. Give this video a like, share, all that good YouTube stuff. Until the next time. Until next time. Okay, I'm gonna edit some of this stuff.